Thank you, Dr. Gee. We'll move along to the brief Senate recommendations to amend the faculty constitution. The West Virginia University Senate has recommended amending the faculty constitution. While the list of changes is long, the substance of the changes does not alter the nature and organization of the West Virginia University Faculty Senate to any significant degree. The largest substantial changes align the Constitution with the new policy structure required by the change from the HEPC to the new Board of Governors structure, though the actual changes don't really make the Senate behave fundamentally differently. The proposed amendments were distributed via email to all members of the Faculty Assembly. Additionally, the proposed amendments and summary of the changes were distributed in a pair of annexes, 1A and 1B. At this stage of the amendment process, no further suggested amendments can be considered, nor can the proposed amendments be modified, and the Faculty Assembly can either vote up or down on the proposed changes. I have a brief, and I promise it's brief, it's only 6 slides, presentation that outlines the set of proposed amendments. So hopefully we can get that up. Okay, so go to the next slide. Again, this is just recreating very quickly, and I won't read these to you. I've learned that much in teaching. This is just sort of recreates the proposals that we've put forward in very amended form to what the proposed amendments to the Constitution should be. And again, just want to highlight the fact that we're trying to clean up the Constitution to make it more efficient and more effective, but most importantly, bring the Constitution into alignment with the new Board of Governors policies as opposed to the policies under the HEPC. So first, next slide. Oh, I'm sorry, these are, keep going all the way through. Next one. Okay, so again, the faculty is updating to try to use Board of Governors rules. Next, we're changing it so that chairs and officers are automatically made members of the Senate, so that it allows for additional people to serve in the Senate in ways. Last one here, just making up the constituencies so that the faculty secretary keeps track of those in addition to the constituents themselves reporting in. Next up, this is hopefully popular. This is the carrot part of this. We're going to eliminate the June meeting unless where necessary, so it can exist if it needs to, but hopefully we will not need that. Next up, just in keeping with the openness, we're making it so the president and the provost are always accorded the right to address the Senate, even though they're not necessarily members. They don't have to be, they have to be recognized now, so now they can just automatically address the Senate. Last up, making it possible to remove senators who fail to attend at least one meeting. So again, we can keep the Senate responsive to the constituencies that exist. Next one. Make the executive committee able to allow for standing committee chairs to participate in executive committee to, again, allow that body to be responsive to the needs of the Senate. Next up, chairs of the standing committee are allowed to either be senators or chair-elects from the previous year. So again, expand membership in the committees and allow the leadership of those committees to draw from the senators and the previous members of the committee. Next, the chair-elects are either senators or, if not senators, they're drawn again from the members of the standing committees, bringing experience to the leadership of the Senate committees. Next up, and allow the committees themselves to determine the voting members of some of the administration folks who sit on those committees as necessary. And then final slide, allow the removal of me if I fail to, or any Senate chair fails to do the job as responsibly as hopefully they all do. Next up, allow removal of the actual senators themselves for any reasons. It turns out the old Constitution didn't allow the senators to be removed at all, so we figured it might be a good idea just in case some of them do bad things. Next up, allow the secretary to determine the necessary way to fill vacant Senate seats. We mostly go to the previously elected or the most recently elected or next highest vote getter in the Senate elections. Sometimes those don't exist. This allows the secretary to figure out an alternative measure. And last, just updates the necessary language as appropriate. Okay, are there any questions or points of discussion with regard to the amendments to the faculty constitution? Good. All members of the Faculty Assembly will get an electronic ballot for voting on amending the faculty constitution, and the ballot will go out for electronic vote on or before October 15th this year, 2018, and be open for 7 days. Amending the Constitution requires an affirmative vote by 2/3 majority of those responding to the vote. I will report the results of the vote at the next Faculty Senate meeting in November. The agenda of the 2018 Faculty Assembly having been concluded, is there any objection to adjourning the Faculty Assembly? Hearing none, the 2018 meeting of the Faculty Assembly is adjourned. We will reconvene in 10 minutes for the regular Faculty Senate meeting, which will be brief. Thank you all. All right. The meeting of the Faculty Senate will come to order. We're ready to continue with our regular Faculty Senate meeting, and I promise you we will move this along pretty quickly. For our colleagues connecting from a distance, there is a slight delay, so please begin your reporting with Potomac State or WVU Tech votes and then the number so that we don't lose any important information. Potomac State, how many are present?
Potomac State has 3 present today.
Thank you, sir. And at WVU Tech, how many are present?
WVU Tech has 2 senators present today.
Thank you, sir, too. We have a quorum for today. Okay. The minutes of the September 10th, 2018 faculty meeting have been distributed as an annex to your agenda. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes from the June meeting? Okay. The minutes are approved as written. Okay, first up, report from the provost.
It's like the long walk. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. My remarks are very brief and partially because I have to leave to take a phone call, so I apologize for that, but you're probably all happy to have brief remarks. Well, let me just start by saying that we had an absolutely fabulous homecoming week and weekend, preceded by Diversity Week, which was really extraordinary. And I think Misha may have left, but is she still here? Oh, no, that's okay. You can just tell her I said how great a job she did. How about that be? So if anyone sees Misha Poor, tell her how great Diversity Week was, but she continues to work on it. So I know that one of the things that we'll want to hear from Misha at some point in Faculty Senate is everything that went on and what she'd like to see changed and where she sees some opportunity for greater inclusion in Diversity Week and more of the things that you think will make a difference, both for us as a community and particularly for our faculty, our students, and our staff. I wanted to bring you up to date on Campus Read. It was a great success. We still have a lot of activities going on around Campus Read. So if you're interested in that, how many of you read the book? It's okay if you didn't. I read it. Okay, that's great. So you may remember I told you I don't like post-apocalyptic literature. I still don't like post-apocalyptic literature. It's not my thing, but I did see some great value in the book in terms of hope and the idea of how it's not just merely about survival, but also about creating community and trust and beauty. And that was something that was really powerful, I thought, about the book. But the speaker was really wonderful in telling her story about the book, and that was terrific. And more will be going on. One of the things that is going on, and I don't know if you've seen this, and I don't even know the date, so I should have brought it up with me, but part of public health is doing the flu shots. Everybody know that? So since that book was about an epidemic that wipes us all out, I highly encourage us all out of care, caution, and paranoia to get our flu shots this year. The more of us who get them, the better off we are. So that would be great if everyone would do that. And if you need information, you can just look on the website. There's a lot of information about where to get them. As I said, homecoming here was great. I also want to mention that our other campuses also had homecoming. And as you know, we keep our eye on tech right now pretty closely just to make sure that the move from Montgomery to Beckley is still going smoothly. And the Beckley Register-Herald just loves to cover tech, which is wonderful. So we had 3 really big articles in the Beckley Register-Herald, which is a great thing for us. And of course, we always have the Dominion Post, the Daily Athenaeum, but to start getting the word into the southern part of the state about all the wonderful things that are happening is a really good thing. There are other amazing things going on. Gordon talked about them. I do want to say that the work that all of you have done on the budget has been amazing. And it has made a significant difference in us being able to turn around a huge operating deficit into at least having a zero balance, which is, you may think that's not a huge deal and you'd like to hear that there's more relief, but the fact is that we couldn't have done that without the sacrifice of all of you. And we did that at the same time that we did 2 different rounds of raises. And so even though I'll be the first to acknowledge that we haven't reached market for every one of our faculty members or every one of our staff members, the last 2 rounds of raises, doing them despite the fact that we knew we had a very, very tight budget, has been a really big deal for us administratively. And I know for some of you it seems like too little, too late, not enough, all of those things. But it was a heavy lift to make it happen, and I'm proud we were able to make it happen, and we were able to make it happen because of all of you. So really, I think that's a good place to end, that this is a remarkable place. The work that you've done over the last couple of years in the face of significant budget cuts, but then partnering with us and with the Board of Governors. And of course, it was, I don't know if Stan's still here, Stan Heilman. There's Stan. Stan is still on the board. When Stan and Richard Turton were on the board, it was Stan and Richard who really turned the tide for us, I think, with the Board of Governors, and Matt. I don't mean to leave you out. In their presentation to the Board of Governors, they're the ones that really made a difference for the Board of Governors making the decision to commit themselves to these raises. Then it was up to us to find the money. But I do want to end on that note, and here's why, because I think that's one of the clearest examples of where Faculty Senate really, really matters and really, really makes a difference, and where the representation of our Senate on the Board of Governors means a lot. So Stan, Matt, Richard, even though I know Richard isn't here, I just want to thank all of you. I know everyone joins me in thanking you, and thank you for continuing to help us work on trying to get these salaries up. We're going to continue pushing forward on this because we've done a tremendous amount of work. Particularly with the national comparables, we have a much better sense of where we are and where we need to be. So let's keep pushing forward, and thank you all so very much. Do I need to take questions? Yeah. I have a few minutes to take questions if anyone has a question for me. Let me start with our regionals, just so that I don't forget them. Are there any questions from Potomac State or any questions from Tech?
Potomac State has no questions, ma'am, but thank you.
Did you also have your homecoming?
End of the month.
It's at the end of October for us, ma'am.
End of October, okay.
Yes,
Well,
ma'am.
good, I didn't leave you out unknowingly then. We'll wait to see the Kaiser paper. Any other questions? I guess there are none from Tech. How about from Morgantown? Oh, great, you're going to let me jump on my call. Thank you all so very much.
Okay, I've just got two brief notes, one of which is an actual follow-up to the provost's comments immediately before. As a reminder, we're doing flu shots here at the Faculty Senate at the next Faculty Senate meeting. All you'll need to do is bring your PEIA insurance card and or your health plan card if that's your health care plan. But as long as you bring that, you'll get a free shot. So please bring something along for next meeting. The clinic will be set up a little bit beforehand, I think starting as early as 2 o'clock, and we'll run a little bit after the meeting as well. So we hope that anyone who's interested in getting a flu shot, like I said, just please bring documentation of your healthcare plan, and we'll get you pushed through that as quickly as we can. Second point, reminder from the Library Committee that WVU Libraries will be hosting 2 events to bookmark Open Access Week, including first, a film screening on the 17th of October, and second, a faculty panel on Open Access on October 22nd. See emails from the Senate or from the WVU Libraries website for details. Other than that, I've got nothing. We're kind of move this along. All right, Curriculum Committee report from Kim Floyd.
Okay, we have 5 approval items and 1 for just informational purposes. However, I do need to make a note that in Annex 1, Psychology 271 is going to be pulled as they are adding revisions and changing some of the objectives within the course. Also, Astrology 705 has added a prerequisite that was not listed in the original annex, and Neuroscience 201 now includes the same prerequisites as Psychology 301, and a letter of support has been added from the Psychology Department for Neuroscience to offer the course under their prefix. Therefore, the approval for Annex 1 will include those modifications.
Okay. So then, are there any questions or points of discussion for Annexes 1, 2, 3, 4, and the new major in neuroscience as modified? Okay. All those in favor of approving Annexes 1, 2, 3, 4, and the new major as modified, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Potomac State, how do you vote?
Potomac State has 3 ayes, sir.
Thank you. W Tech, how do you vote?
WVU Tech has 2 ayes.
Thank you, sir. The ayes have it. The annexes as modified are approved. Okay, a for information item now.
Sorry, I thought I put them all together. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
The information item was the new minor in Health Services Administration.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions or points of discussion for the new minor? Easy enough. Thank you, ma'am. The hearing none, the new minor in Health Services Administration is filed. All right, next up, GEF, General Education Foundation's report from Robert Brock.
Sorry. Whoa. So, for approval, Annex 5 for the GEF Curriculum Committee.
Okay. Are there any questions or points of discussion for Annex 5?
No?
All those in favor of approving Annex 5, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Potomac State, how do you vote?
Potomac State has 3 ayes, sir.
WVU Tech, how do you vote?
WVU Tech has 2 ayes.
The ayes have it. Annex 5 is approved. So now for information item.
We have a transitional review course, so that's Annex 6, and it's for information, so you don't need to approve it.
Are there any questions or points of discussion for Annex 6? Okay, Annex 6 is filed. Next up, faculty representatives to state government, Roy Nutter.
Roy Nutter, Statler College, and your ACF rep. The state faculty are very quiet in the last month. I don't know what's happening, but it's too dang quiet. The CTC Council, Community Technical College Council, will meet this Thursday, and ACF will also meet, but a good indicator is there's no agenda yet. My report is complete.
Thank you, sir. Everyone must be working on midterms. Next up, Board of Governors report from Stan Heilman.
All right, we met on September 21st with committee meetings on the 20th. We received a report on the WVU Foundation by Cindy Roth and an accompanying positive investment report that went along with that. There were 3 rules that were approved, 5.2, 5.3, and 5.4, dealt with capital improvements, campus safety, and campus facilities planning. And we had a first reading of some new rules, 5.12, 5.13, dealing with disposition of property and tuition, fees and waivers, and Student Life Rule 6.1 on student conduct. There were some minor wording corrections that were made to Rules 2.3 on undergraduate admissions and Rule 4.5 on the modification of duties, and those are all out for comment. And then simply approved the moving the ROTC program to the Evansdale campus, and there were several, some buildings that were renamed. That's my report.
Okay. All right, winding up here, a few more. We now need to confirm an interim faculty secretary. With the departure of Chad Proudfoot, we find ourselves in need of both a faculty secretary and a new parliamentarian. I'll have a longer report on these issues in the next full Senate meeting, but our former chair, Matt Valenti, who so ably led us last year, has volunteered to serve as an interim faculty secretary until a more permanent replacement can be vetted and approved. Matt has agreed to this as well, to serve as for the remainder of this academic year. The Senate Executive Committee voted already to confirm Matt, so all we need is a vote to confirm that at Senate. As such, no motion or second is required. So, all those in favor of appointing Matt Valenti as interim faculty secretary, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Potomac State, how do you vote?
3 ayes.
Thank you. WVU Tech, how do you vote?
2 ayes.
My notes here say, hopefully the ayes have it. Good. Matt Valenti is appointed interim faculty secretary. All right, is there any new business? Even better. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Second. We are adjourned. See you next month.